Hello Math 143. In this video I'm going to walk you through some features in Blackboard that I may have not discussed in the past, and also talk about your individual lab, and at the end I'll conclude with a checklist of everything that is due tomorrow. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over to my computer screen, and I'm going to get you log into Blackboard and get started there. Alright, so here we are. Let's go ahead and get logged in. I'm going to zoom in so we can get a good look. So here is our quantitative literacy course. I'm going to turn on student mode. And actually, if you'll bear with me just a second, I'm going to do something. I'm going to pretend like I'm a brand new student. Maybe I haven't done anything in the course yet. Alright, so here I'm going to act like I'm a new student. This is my first time looking at the course. Hopefully this isn't you, that you've read the announcement from yesterday, but I'm going to go to under the assumption that maybe this is your first time. So here's the announcement that I sent out yesterday, along with that intro video. So every announcement that I send and have an email attached to it will be posted here under the Announcements tab. But we're going to move into the Getting Started tab. And so here there is a lot of information, and I'm going to go briefly through several of them. One is the syllabus. Please make sure that you download and retain a copy of the syllabus for this course. It has very important dates on it, as well as how you're graded in the course. Okay. Now, I advise you to download that, but you can also go into Learn About Math 143, and this is going to run over some of the stuff from the syllabus as well. So like to begin with, here's some information about me. It's a little mini autobiography that I wrote just so you can get to know me a little better. The next is a video that goes over the information that was in the syllabus. So please take the time and watch it. It is less than 4 minutes, and it gives you a good overview of everything in the syllabus. Next is the dates that you must take the mandatory census quiz. So right there, it must be taken by Sunday, September 2nd, 2018 by 11:59 p.m. If you do not take it by that date and time, I have to drop you from the course as a no-show. This is a North Carolina state policy, not a CVCC policy. So please make sure you take that census quiz. The next two important dates is October 17th and December 17th. This is the midterm exam date and the final exam date. You have to come to campus in order to take the final exam, which is why we classify this course as a hybrid and not a pure online course. The test is written to take 2 hours, but you will have a time frame from 1 p.m. until 8 p.m. that you can come anytime during on those days, to take the midterm or the final exam. Inside this one is some information on how to use Blackboard. Hopefully you're familiar with that since you're taking an online course, and many of you I'm sure have taken online courses before. The course material you're required to have is WebAssign, as well as access to the ebook. You can't learn the information in this course without the textbook. You're going to be required to read a lot to learn the information. We will be using the 3rd edition, as I mentioned in the previous video, and the bookstore has ordered copies of these two options. One is WebAssign access with just the ebook. The other is WebAssign access with a loose leaf copy of the textbook. Technology, obviously you'll need to use your computer because you're learning this all online. And then there's 2 websites that I would like to direct your attention towards, and I'll talk about more later, and that is Desmos and Wolfram Alpha. Okay, I'll talk about more of those later. Attendance, you're going to be working in groups on almost every single lab in this course, so please make sure that you are attentive to your emails as well as Blackboard. So please make sure that you are checking those on a daily basis. And then your grade calculation is broke down like this in the syllabus, and also I discuss it in that video that I mentioned previously. So let's go back to the Getting Started tab. I'm going to save the groups and lab grading for the next video because that's more detail. And then I'm going to talk about WebAssign at the very end of this video. So that's course content. Let's jump over to assignments. Or sorry, that's getting started. Let's jump to course contents. I'm jumping the gun. So your first lesson that's currently visible is ethos, pathos, and logos. I'm going to tell you something's missing here. All right, you should have a unit, you should have another lab, because if you read my message, there's also a lab called Simpsons Paradox, and you might be like, well, where's that at? So here's how you unlock the Simpsons Paradox Lab. You have to take the mandatory census quiz in order to unlock it. I'm going to go ahead and take it right now. All right, it's only 3 questions. Let's see, what's the name of your instructor? Ethan Smith. You're required to take 2 exams on CVCC's campus. We said that's true. Work in WebAssign is worth 40% of student's grade. Well, let's just say that's true too. All right, go ahead and click OK to review my results. All right, good. I got the first question right. I got the second one, but I didn't get the third question right. WebAssign is only worth 20% of your grade, not 40. Labs are worth 40. All right, and that's okay. You only need to take it to verify your enrollment. So if you don't get 100, that's fine. But now you will see there's a new folder in here. And we're going to click on that folder for Unit 1. And I got the Simpsons Paradox Lab. I also have this lab for this quiz for ethos, pathos, and logos. So you will need to take this quiz. It is due by tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. And then also your first lab is due by tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. So here's the lab. It's the individual Simpsons Paradox Lab. I want to talk about how to access it. So first thing is you need to download the lab, and it asks you to click here. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. Now this takes some time to load, so I'm going to put in my CVCC email. There's a lot of clicking, a lot of loading, and this does take some time. And it's going to direct me to the Simpsons Paradox Lab. So your screen hopefully looks like this. And once it's finally done loading, I'm going to show you how to download this. So you cannot edit this. This is my copy hosted in my cloud drive. You have to download a copy in order to edit it. Okay? So again, waiting for this to load. All right, almost there. So you want this top bar to show up right here where it says tell me what you want to do. If you don't see this, you may see 3 dots over here in the top right corner. So I'm going to tell it what I want to do. I want to download, and it's going to give me my first option to download a copy. So I'm going to click download a copy. What it's going to do, it's going to create a copy of that for me, and I'm going to download it. What I would do is I would save this file so that it saves it to your computer. And so now if I go under downloads, it's going to be right there. Okay, so this is the one that I just downloaded. So here we go. Got it downloaded. Fantastic. So I got this. I'm going to delete this comment. There we go. So I've got this now all downloaded. I can start working on it. So which team performed better? I'm just going to type White Sox. I don't know. Maybe I'll even highlight it just so it's easier to know that that's my answer. I'm not saying you have to. Now I've only answered one question, but I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to put it on my desktop. Now I'm going to name it this way just so I know that this is my copy. If you're working in groups, it might be helpful to do this so when you share with your group members, they know whose lab you're reading. Alright, and then I could also type it here just to make sure. So I got it saved. I'm going to pretend like I did everything and I'm ready to upload my assignment. So I'm going to go to Browse My Computer. And I put it on this one on the desktop. So I'm going to go to Desktop. And I got it right there, so I'm going to click open. It attaches the file, and I'm ready to submit. Now when you submit, you're going to get an email, and it's also going to say success. Your submission appears on the page. I always verify that my submission was uploaded correctly by clicking the name. So what that does is it generates a preview of the file I just uploaded, and so I want to make sure that it's the correct file and I didn't upload a blank one. So make sure that your file is the correct one you want me to grade by checking the preview. Alright, so we've got the individual Paradox Lab uploaded. That's all good. And that's the first lab that's due tomorrow, along with the Ethos, Pathos, and Logos quiz. Alright, so the last thing I want to talk about for this video is WebAssign. Okay, so WebAssign is our online homework. When you click on WebAssign, yours is going to ask you to create an account, just like mine is doing here. So click create an account. Go through this, click your birth year. I would suggest you click know that you do not want to receive Cengage offers because they'll be sending you emails. Then create a password. Personally, I would probably make it the same as the one that you have for CVCC. Agree to their terms and conditions, and then keep going that way. So I already have an account, so I'm going to back in up. And go in through my account. Okay, so here we go. This is what you're going to see when you log in. Probably it'll take you directly to your course, but I have several courses, so I have to go in and select. And all of my assignments are already loaded here for me. So I can go ahead and go to the Get Starting. If you bought the ebook access, your ebook's going to be down here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the first assignment here to go ahead and get started. This is going to walk me through how to navigate through a WebAssign assignment. And you see I've already started this. So I've already done a few. I've got them right. So let's go to like question 4. I haven't done that one yet. So question 4 says, what's 1 plus 1? Well, it's 2. I'm going to get it wrong just to show you something. So I'm going to put 3. And it's going to count it wrong. But that's okay, because I get 6 submissions on each question for WebAssign. So even though I got it wrong, I'm like, okay, I see what I did wrong. So I'm going to put in the correct answer and now submit the answer again. And so by doing that, it's going to automatically update my grade at the top of the screen. You see it gives me a check for the 4. And then once it's loaded, it's going to shoot me back down here. And it's going to give me a check and say correct. And notice it updated the number of submissions that I use. Now if you use all 6 submissions, then you can't continue and you get the question wrong. But you do get 6 attempts for each question. Now let's say you are having issues and you need to ask me a question. Then you can go over here to ask your teacher and type in, I don't understand the directions. Alright, and so then you can click send, and then I will respond, and you will see an envelope similar to this one. Now this one I haven't responded to this person, aka me, but you will see an arrow on the envelope that says the instructor or me has responded. A last point of note with WebAssign, if you're not using an updated browser, or if you're using Chrome, then you will not be able to answer questions like this. This requires the use of Flash Player. Okay, Flash Player is blocked in Google Chrome, but it is not in Firefox or Microsoft Edge. WebAssign also has issues with tablets, so if you're using an iPad or an Android tablet, you will not be able to see this more than likely, because it doesn't work well with tablets. So you'll need to be on a computer using Firefox, which is this internet browser, or Microsoft Edge. Not Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge. So you would have so like this question, and then there's a graphing question down here. These require a Flash Player. All right, so that's WebAssign. Let me go back to Blackboard real quick. So the last thing that I want to show you is how to access your grades. So if you go to Course Tools and then go to My Grades, you're going to see a list of all of your grades. I haven't submitted anything or had anything graded yet, so I don't have any. But what you're really looking for once you complete a lab is the Simpsons Paradox final grade. This is going to be how your final grade is calculated on each of those labs. And I'll talk more about that in another video. But just again, go to Course Tools and My Grades and you will see My Grades. At the very bottom, you should see one that says Current Course Average. So this is what your current course average is. You'll see a percentage and a letter beside it to tell you what percent you have in the course and what letter grade you also have in the course. All right, so that is a rundown of everything of the course. Just to recap, let me get my face back up here. So just to recap, you do have 3 things that are due. First, you have to go take the mandatory census quiz as soon as possible. Second, you need to take the Ethos, Pathos, and Logos quiz after watching the video that is posted in course contents. And then the third is to start working on the Simpsons Paradox Individual Lab, which is posted under the assignments page. So you'll need to read section 1.1 of the textbook to learn about Simpsons Paradox. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. My email is esmith845@cvcc.edu, or you can also email me through Blackboard under Course Tools. So there's all those options. I will send out another message tomorrow and go over some more details regarding your upcoming group lab, which should be available tomorrow.